Well, hello there, good people. It's your boy Johny-J, and welcome to another epic photo adventure. This time we head out to one of my favorite places to photograph and create a group of images that help tell the story of this epic location. Get a decaf double shot flat white and almond, please. Just a small one. I know, desperate times, desperate measures, but it's the only thing open for coffee. So you got to do what you got to do. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. Well, just took delivery. It's hot. It's warm. Tastes like coffee. That's a good start. Well, good morning, and here we are. I'm all decaffed up, feeling good at one of my favorite places to photograph, Zenith Beach. It's actually looking okay. It's better than I thought it was going to be. There's actually a big layer of cloud here, which wasn't predicted. So, you know what? You just never know. You have to get out there and check it out for yourself. So, all the predictions in the world, all the scouting, all the planning, and sometimes, you know, it may come together. Look, there is a block of cloud on the horizon. I can see that clearly now. But we do have this lovely layer of cloud there. So things are looking good. We'll play it by ear. I'll probably start with my wide angle lens, see if we can get a wide angle shot to start things off. And then I've got my telephoto lens and a macro to play around with today as well. So we might get creative with our compositions and see what we can come up with at this location. All right, let's go find our first one. So we're all set up here. Things are looking good. The clouds rolling in. It's actually looking really amazing this morning. I think we're going to get some really, really nice light. Like I said, there is a blocker on the horizon. That's really going to slow things down. But I'm keeping it really simple this morning. Just going to use this beautiful water movement as my foreground. Let me show you here on the video exactly what I'm looking at here. So here we are. You can see through the camera now. It's looking really, really nice. All I'm looking for is this beautiful water movement here in the foreground. Got Tomaree on the left, we've got the light coming on the right, we've got some clouds up above. It's looking really good. Just remember, my final shot's going to be a little bit wider than this one, okay? It's a little bit tight there, but we also, when the water runs out, you can see that beautiful reflection of Tomaree, that symmetry as well. So I'm going to keep this one super simple. I'll tell you my settings. So at the moment, I'm at about f8, ISO 100 there, shutter speed. It's going to be a little bit longer and I don't mind it. You're like a fifth. Oh, that's pretty good actually. So I'm getting about a fourth or a fifth, okay? But with this water movement, something that's really important with this water movement is I want to have on continuous frames. So I want the camera to take multiple frames as I click the shutter button. Because what it's going to do, it's going to allow me to get that water movement when it moves in on the foreground. Oh yeah, beautiful. Let's have a look back at those. Yeah, oh, loving that. So that's about a fourth at the moment. That's looking really, really nice. Because I haven't got any ND filters or anything on this morning, I'm just gonna have to adjust that aperture and that constantly just to hold things back a bit. There is a little bit of a high dynamic range, but I'm only about a stop under. So I know my camera can handle being underexposed by about a stop. So that's not a problem. Totally not worried about that whatsoever. This cloud up above is not really catching the light. It's being blocked by, there is a little thin cloud, a blocker on the horizon line there. But what is nice, we've got this cloud and we've got this beautiful broken cloud right above Tomaree. So if we do catch a bit of this light, it's probably going to be that later light, I would say. It's probably going to be that more orange and yellow tones a bit later on. But all in all, it's looking good. I'm loving the water movement. I'm absolutely loving the cloud layer. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the light. So focus for this one is really, really easy. You can see my focus, just focusing a third into the scene there. If I come round to the side, you can see I'm a long way away from that first foreground element there, the sand. So everything's going to be nice and sharp just with that third in focus. It's really simple, particularly with that, you know, f8 and above depth of field that we're going to have. it'll be really easy to get nice sharp focus from that. One thing I should mention is my tripod height. You can see I am quite high. I'm a bit higher, I'm sort of my chest height, I would say. I better grab my camera there in case it falls over with that water movement. But you can see it's looking really, really nice. And the reason I like that height there, because if you have a look at the back of the camera, I love the water movement and this reflection in the foreground. So if I was to drop the tripod lower, what's going to happen, I'm going to crush that foreground and mid-ground area. And I want to see more of that. I want to balance it out with how much sky I've got, how much cloud we're seeing. And that's really, really important. So your tripod height really, really matters for your composition. So always take into account, you know, where your tripod is, because even if you look at this camera, right, if I was to go down, you look what happens to that mid-ground, it gets crushed, okay, and you lose some of that mid-ground, you're not seeing that nice reflection, and as I come up, you can see it opens up that mid-ground, you see more of that reflection and more of that water movement, which I really, really like about this composition. I think those elements are really nice. All right, it's just all of a sudden getting crazy down here for some reason, but look, I think we got the shot. It's time to change lenses. Let's get on to the telephoto lens, wait for that sun to come up, and I think we might pick out some of these cool waves breaking and get some awesome shots here. But this is crazy, it is a long weekend. I can't believe how busy it is. I usually have this place to myself, but you can see it's just insane. All right, on to the next photograph, I think. Let's get it a little tighter. And not only that, it's gonna save me some Photoshop work, because in the wide shot, there's like 25 people. So crazy, never have to deal with this normally, but there you go. Filming on the long weekend, it's gonna happen. Got an interesting shot then. I didn't have enough time to record it because it happened so fast, but just as the sun peed up above those clouds there, I started shooting a vertical frame here. I'll show you on the back of the camera there what I'm looking at, but you can see a few of those are going to make a really nice square crop, I reckon. You can see there with the wave bursting up in the foreground, we've got the layers and the beautiful sun popping up above the back there. I think that's really, really nice. So now I've got that one in the bag, and again, you know, that's getting out the 70 to 200, doing something a little bit creative, zooming in on the scene, compressing it, and just catching that nice bit of light at that exact moment. So the next thing we want to do now is find a nice backlit wave, and there's also dolphins out there, so I wish I had my other lens too. It was slightly longer, not really long enough for the dolphins, but yeah, hey, look, if I get down close enough to the water, you never know, maybe I'll get a dolphin shot. So let's move on to the waves now. I'm going to be moving around at the beach a fair bit, so going handheld for this one, because you need to be quite quick and pan around where the waves are breaking. But let's see if we can play around and get a cool wave shot now, or maybe a dolphin, we'll see. All right, I can see those dolphins. They're just out there about the back of the waves. Let's see here, we can get them with nice backlit out there. Okay, oh, looking good, all right. So I'm gonna get wet here no matter what happens. So basically I'm at F11, 1/60th. Actually I'm gonna go up to 1/250th. I'm gonna drop down to about F8. And I'm just looking for them dolphins. They're playing around out here. And I want quite a fast shutter speed just to catch them there in the light as they come up. And let's see if we get a shot of these dolphins. So we've got some time. Oh, it's looking nice, I'll tell you that. All right, let's concentrate on the waves. The dolphins are going past. Hopefully they come back now. Let's get a few shots of these waves. So looking for backlit waves. Now what I'm gonna do is actually drop the shutter speed right down. I wanna try and get some water movement. I'm gonna bump it up to F13 there. And let's go down to like a 25th, okay? And what I wanna do is get some water movement and then backlit waves. Oh yeah, that's what I'm after. Beautiful, 25th's good. And the idea here is to sort of point down the beach. When you see a wave, take a shot and try and get a bit of that water movement. It's just a bit of fun. At 1/25th of a second, I'm getting this cool water movement, as well as this awesome, like, backlit wash off the waves here. And I'm really liking it. And I think that's gonna be the sweet spots. You know, that 1/30th, 1/25th. And the other thing I wanna do, which I didn't do before, is I wanna put it in constant autofocus. I want it to constantly be focusing. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so constant autofocus, that's the key. 1/125th, we're getting some nice water movement now. Just waiting for those waves to barrel. And there's beautiful backlight right now. It's looking great. Really happy with this. But that's cool, we're getting some cool waves right over here. And I got soaking wet that time. Oh God, so wet. I am so wet. I was so wet. That last one I got absolutely soaked on. That's the beautiful thing about this type of photography now is you've got heaps of time to shoot it. You know, there's no rush. The next hour while the sun's still low and the waves are backlit, I can just keep taking frame after frame after frame, and it's just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Just looks awesome. All right, I think we've got a few in the bag then. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, maybe we'll look for something with the macro. Let's see. All right, so we've got the macro lens out now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around this sand behind here and find some awesome textures. They're there, I can see them. And with that light being nice and low, they look really, really nice. There's long shadows and really nice side lit textures. So let's see what we can find here. I'm just going to walk around, and I'll bring you with you on this camera. So let's have a look here, see what we can find. So I love areas like this. You can see where there's like a break, this line here. Really love areas like that. That's cool. See here? Really like that. So I'm gonna take a photograph of that there. Yeah, love it. So I'm at about f8, 1/200th here, nice and fast. Autofocus there, just focusing in the middle and making sure that when I point down to the ground that everything is, I'm pointing flat with the end of my lens so that the plane of focus is flat with the ground, okay? So I'm just gonna follow this edge because I'm really liking these jagged bits here. This bit's cool, really like this. There's a couple of little fingers there. Difference in texture there as well, which I really, really like. I think that's really nice. You can see just here, these little fingers, difference in texture, which is really, really nice. Breaking up the frame, framing them up diagonally too, through the frame really, really helps to bring that out. And you can see this beautiful line all the way down here. Really, really liking that. That is cool. All right, let's find another cool spot here. Oh, this is a nice one, this finger here. Look at that one. It's like a lightning bolt through the frame there. And we've got like another point of interest, which is one of the holes there from a yabby or a crab or something, which looks kind of cool. So that's just basically it. Walking around, having your shutter speed fast enough, so 1/200, f8, plenty of depth of field. And I'm not right close to my subject here. Just making sure the front of the lens is parallel when I'm shooting down to get everything nice and sharp with that depth of field. And that's the key. Just walk around taking your time because you've got time. The light's still low, there's no rush. This is just an added bonus. This is another photograph that helps tell the story of this cool location. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab a few more photos here and then we'll wrap it up. All right, good people, that's it for the fieldwork section. 3 cool types of photographs I think we took with that wide angle, getting tight on those waves with the telephoto, and then broke out the macro and picked out those details. And that sort of out of the box creative thinking is what allows you to come home with cool photographs no matter what's happening with the light, okay? You turn up, there's no clouds, you've got expectations of this wide angle, epic scene shot, it doesn't play out. That doesn't matter, you know, don't get disheartened. There's still photographs to be had in the field. Anyway, let's jump over to Lightroom and I'll show you how I put a couple of these together. All right, good people, here we are back in Lightroom. Now, I wanted to just say, before I get through and show you these photographs, now, not every photograph when you're shooting like this is going to be like a portfolio grade image, okay? What you're doing is you're trying to take a group of photographs that tell a story about a location, all right? So there's two reasons why this is such a powerful tool and something to get used to doing when you're out shooting is you don't get stuck on the fact that you've got this one composition in mind and you're going there to create that, and if that doesn't happen you get disappointed and you come home with nothing. And two is if you're traveling or you're going to a location you've never been to, you really want to be able to shoot like this, and it's a good skill to have. It's because you're going to create all these different photographs of a location, tell its story, and come home with awesome memories as well. And that's the whole point of shooting like this, you know, that really creative thinking, swapping around lenses, really paying attention to what's in the scene, and you will come away with some awesome images. All right, let's get started. Here's our first image here of Tom Marie, and you can see I didn't catch it. The light is still behind here. I ended up swapping over and shooting those backlit waves before that light really got up. So Tomaree is still in a fair bit of shade here, but I love the water movement. I love the placement of the reflection. Beautiful leading lines leading down. We've got some nice soft tones. Look, you know, if this was a location that I hadn't been to before, it was my first time there, more than happy with a photograph like this. I'd be stoked, okay? But because this is a location I can go back to over and over again, I know I can do better. But that's okay. It still tells part of the story of this location. All right, let's keep going here. So the next one I took, I believe, was this one here with my telephoto lens, and I really like this. You know, I like shots like this, and the reason I like it is because we've got, not only we've got layers for your eye to jump through the scenes, it gives it plenty of depth. Okay, we've got different textures as well, you know, smooth, you know, sort of rough and wavy, and then this sharper texture, this edge that's catching that backlight there, and all the way out to that soft sun. So shots like that are really, really cool, compressing the scene, zooming in on the light, and creating something really, really awesome. So I think that's a pretty cool shot. So the next shot was these wave shots here. And you can really see that slower shutter speed. You can see that movement. You can see the backlight shining through the water. Always looks really, really cool. And not only that, you know, the background, that beautiful golden light back there, but you can see, you know, the textures and that through there. So one tip I would say when you've got things like this is clarity can be awesome. So painting localized adjustments with the masking tool, just with the brush tool, you know, painting in some clarity around those areas really adds that mid-tone contrast and makes those, you know, that this spray and these areas here really pop out. So I really recommend that as a tip. But you can see, cool, I got a heap of waves that were really, really cool. I just happen to like this one. You know, it's sort of a bit more abstract, it's breaking, it's half breaking. I've got some cool ones that were barreling and that as well, but I really like this one. I think this one really, really turns out quite nice. All right, and there's two more to go. So actually, I did skip one. So I didn't get any great dolphin shots, okay? But I happened to get this lone dolphin fin offset with the other island out the back there, which I think works really nicely. It's got those nice warm tones. It's not the ultimate, again, it's not the ultimate dolphin photo, you know, but it's a memory from that location. And as a group, it tells a story. So that's the really important thing. So it's still a cool shot. I still like it. But yeah, not the absolutely epic, you know, dolphin jumping off the wave shot, which, you know, it didn't happen. But if, you know, that's obviously what I'd be looking for an epic dolphin shot. But as a group of photographs, I think this works really well. All right, and here's our macro shot here. There's those lines I was telling you about. You can see I've used them as like a diagonal between our two sort of main elements here. We've got the shell, we've got this crab or yabby hole or whatever it is there, and broken up by this diagonal line. Also went with the square crop, which I think works really well with photographs like this. Sometimes square is, you know, it's okay to be square. That's what they say. So yeah, don't forget the square crop because it works sometimes really cool with things like this, and then top-down drone shots and things like that. And last but not least, I'll show you this one. Look, it's a drone shot I took. It looks okay in black and white. There's probably actually a few of these footprints at the top. Probably needs cleaning up a little bit in Photoshop. I toned it with a more sepia, a yellowy sort of tone, but I like the textures. I like the shadow stands out. And again, you know, later on in the day. So something I didn't mention, which I'll talk about quickly now, is, you know, you would have noticed that when the light's the most epic, I had my wide angle lens on, taking in the whole scene, okay? And then as the light got up and got harsher, I started using different techniques like longer lenses and zooming in, picking out details, and then macro getting even tighter. And then even that drone shot, you know, shooting top down, so not directly into the light, but using the shadow that sun was creating to create another added element in the frame of my drone portrait, I suppose you could call it to myself. But yeah, so that's the idea. And the same thing, the opposite would happen at sunset. You know, if you're out there a couple hours before sunset, you're getting out your long lens, you're shooting those smaller environments with the macro lens, and then as the light gets more epic, you can get the wider and wider lens. So yeah, look, I think they're a good group of photographs. Is there anything there I'd say is an absolute portfolio killer? Probably not, but look, I think together they tell a lovely story of that absolutely epic location at Zenith Beach. Alright good people, that was a long one, boy. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. If you want to show me some love, give me that thumbs up, leave a comment below. Let me know which image is your favorite. And as always, if you're not subscribed, please do. My goal is 1,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you could support me in that way. And I'll see you again for another epic photo adventure. Alright, peace.